right, so let's get started. All right, welcome to Sleepy Time Yoga, everyone. Hopefully you have at least a pillow or two that you'll be able to use in this session. If you have extra blankets and extra pillows, you know, more is more when it comes to restorative styles of yoga. So from wherever you are, let's begin lying on our backs with the knees bent. And we are using one of the pillows as a pillow. So we'll lie down and maybe use, if you have a second pillow or even a blanket, maybe put that under the knees so you can keep your knees bent, or you can put the pillow under the knees and that will create a soft bend in the knees for the body. Now from wherever we are, let's bring the hands onto the belly, and from here let's practice some diaphragmatic breathing. As we inhale, we want to feel the belly rising. So inhale, and then exhale, and it might be a little bit of effort to move the belly up against gravity. That's okay. Inhale, and then exhale. You're welcome to close your eyes. We're working with at least 2 or 3 minutes of mindful breathing before we add in any other movement. As long as we're breathing, we're doing yoga. Our breath is the foundation of overall relaxation. Inhale through the nose or the mouth. Try exhaling from the throat. Exhaling like a sigh. Maybe another sigh or two with the breath. Let's place one hand up on the heart, allowing the breath to move from the belly now, lifting the stomach up to the chest. And then exhale, relax the chest and relax the belly. Filling the lungs from the bottom to the top. Empty from the top down. Tune into the sensation of the breath as we mindfully fill the lungs from the belly up to the heart. We're creating this wave-like motion, almost an undulating energy that's going to roll through the body, rolling through the organs, and then pressing against the spine. Add in a little pause after the exhale. Inhale through the ribs up to the heart. Exhale from the heart, down through the ribs, down to the belly, and then pause. 3, 2, 1. Inhale, pull the breath in. Exhale, roll it out. Pause. 3, 2, 1. Let's roll the breath up through the body a couple more times like that. Adding in that pause after the exhale. So we're just embracing a still point, different from holding the breath. Pausing after the exhale. Inhale whenever the body is ready. And now maybe eliminating any of those gaps in the breath, allowing the belly to softly rise and fall. Let's take both arms up and overhead, and maybe lengthen out the legs, point the toes, big stretch, extended mountain. You can lift the head a little bit if that's comfortable. Inhale, reach, pull down through the toes and the feet, reach with the fingers. And now exhale, relax. Let's lower the hands. Bending both knees. We could even put our feet on top of that pillow if it feels comfortable. Let's give the body a hug. Right hand on top of the left shoulder, and maybe the left hand under the right armpit, and then slide the hands over and give a little squeeze to the back of the shoulder and to the under part of that right armpit, pulling just a little bit up on those places. Adding in a little rock. We could always pull the shoulders just a little bit away from the mat. Gentle rotation through the upper ribs and the upper trunk of the body. Heart energy is cradled and safe. Maybe just one more to each side. Let's bring it to center. Switch out the hands. Right hand going under the left armpit. Right hand on top of that, or left hand on top of the right shoulder, and then just adding in a little squeeze. So squeezing with the right hand. And then massaging with the left hand. Adding in that gentle rocking motion. Gentle rocking through the upper rib cage, the upper trunk of the body. Hips are still, anchored to the earth. Heart is protected. We are safe. When you're ready, relaxing the hands and maybe just taking them out to the side like a big T. Let's place the palms down flat. Take the feet out, maybe as wide as a yoga mat, wider than the hips. And from here, let the knees sway left and right. So now we're grounding the energy in the upper trunk of the body and adding in this very gentle rotation through the lower part of the body. Every time we sway the knees over, just gently hugging against the kidneys and those upper adrenal glands. Maybe helping to flush out different stress hormones that might be floating around in the body. If we want to add a breath to this, exhale on the twist. Inhale through center. Exhale, twist. Keeping that steady rhythm of body with the breath. Exhaling on the twist. Inhaling through center. Taking our time to even this up on left and right. When you're ready, bring the knees to center. Let's walk the feet in slow and draw both knees in towards the chest, holding on to the sides of the legs or maybe even behind the thighs, rocking just a little bit left and right. This is almost just like child's pose, but lying on our backs, knees to chest. Let's come to center. Cup the hands on top of the knees. Let's move the knees in some very tiny clockwise circles. Maybe starting so small, that way we're able to have potential to expand this movement out. Spiraling this energy, beginning to make the circle just a little bit bigger with each rotation. Adding the breath into this. Inhale as the knees move away. Exhale as the knees draw in close to the body. We want the thighs to press against the belly and the gut region. In yoga therapy practices, we refer to this as a belly press or a belly flushing. And although we don't make any medical or Western science claims, energetically this is used to help flush out the effects of stress. Inhaling, circle it around, maybe just a couple more times. Exhale in, big press into the lower abdomen. When you're ready, reverse that circle. Let's start small, really tiny again. So we're just easing the body into this range of motion. All the while we are massaging up against the kidneys and the adrenal glands, even the backs of the lungs. Making the circle just a little bigger. We start small, so there's that potential for growth with this movement. Adding in the breath. Exhale when the knees come in. Inhaling as the knees press away. Relaxing the jaw. The more stress or tension we suspect is in the body, or the more tension we feel in the spine or low back, the more we want to relax the jaw. Nerves that move all the way back into the brain. Just by relaxing the jaw, the throat, we're able to potentially relax the entire body. Let's circle just a couple more times, really big. Exhale, thighs pressing in tight. When you're ready, holding it at center, releasing the hands to the sides or backs of the thighs. Let's stretch the feet up and maybe wiggle the toes a little bit. You can point and flex the feet. Round, maybe circle, make some round movements with the ankles. Sometimes we hear some little snap, crackle, and pops here. That's okay. That's just something that the body does, as long as there are no bright lights, dizziness, nausea, fainting. It's okay if your body has little snap, crackle, pops. From here, let's draw the knees in close. Lower the feet. Let's push into our feet and roll all the way over onto one side, left or right, just wherever you feel you're able to face me best. Let's curl up into a little ball, just a little sideline posture. If we have our extra pillow handy, we could bring that in. You could put it between the knees, but if you're having any hip or low back pain, you can always try that pillow under the lower leg. So oftentimes we say just put a pillow between the knees, but as soon as we elevate that lower leg, it can actually help us to draw the thigh bone more into the midline of the body. So we can always prop under the legs, not just between the knees. Let's close our eyes here for a moment. Tuck the chin into the chest. Energetically, whenever we bring the chin down, this helps to close off an energetic gate of energy. This energetic gate of energy regulates chitter chatter in the mind, the monkey mind, the little cuckoo caca. Breathe down into the low back. Breathe to the middle back. Breathe up across the shoulders. While we're rolled up like this, the belly is
just gently contracted, and the breath can naturally move into the backs of the lungs. And so often the backs of the lungs don't have an opportunity to get fleshed out if we're sitting in chairs or lying down, or even just shapewear can restrict the function of the back of the lungs. So breathing along the back of the spine, along the back of the lungs. From where we are, let's slowly take our top arm and press up, maybe just about a third or halfway. We don't want to come all the way up. Take the pillow out from under the knees, and let's place that pillow by the hip and the waist. Bringing our other pillow in. We want to have a little bit of a gap between these pillows. That gap is going to, you don't have to have the one under the head. Try the one under the waist first, and if it doesn't feel good, then use your one pillow under your head. We want this little space between the two pillows to be able to accommodate some room for the shoulder blade. That way we're not directly putting pressure onto the humerus bone. From here, we're able to drop that top hip down, supported through the side waist. Let's take our top arm up and overhead. Just a nice big waving motion with that top arm. Inhaling, side lying lateral flexion. Maybe even pausing, breathing up under the armpit, and then exhale. Closing off that armpit energy. Let's try a few more. Inhale, up and over. Top of the breath, reach. Push the breath up under the armpit by the rib. And then exhale. Little pumping action in. Reach, inhale. Exhale. Let's bring that arm up and maybe turn the palm up. Let's open and close the hand a few times. Creating this pumping action with the hand and the arm. Encouraging lymphatic drainage down. Maybe just 3 more. When you're ready, bring the hand down, relax. Take the top leg out in front of that bottom leg. Both knees are bent. As we inhale, opening up, stretching and opening our heart up towards the sky. Let's move our pillow to accommodate the body. We could always hold it here to feel that stretch in the upper arm and chest, or we can lower the hand down if it's more comfortable. Breathing mostly into this upper lung. Switch sides. You could always just stack the legs and maybe roll over onto your back, repositioning the hips and the back on the pillows. Just a nice big open flushing of the abdomen and the stomach region here. When you're ready, rolling over onto your other side. I'm going to sit up and switch sides. That way you're able to see me just a little better. Bringing one pillow into the waist, our other pillow just in front of it. Making a little space between the two pillows. That way we're able to fit the shoulder there. No pressure or little pressure on the humerus bone and the shoulder joint. Let's meet lying on our side. Maybe keeping the knees together, or maybe taking one leg a little bit in front and the bottom leg back, allowing the body to choose for us. Let's inhale that top arm up and overhead. Big breath in. Pull up through the rib. Exhale, press it down. Inhaling up at the top of the breath. Push the breath up under the armpit. Exhale, release, like a squeezing motion as if you're trying to hold something under the armpit. Squeeze in. Inhale, take it up and over. Reach. Exhale down. Maybe just 2 more of these. Getting a lot of movement in here on the side ribs, getting some traction over the lymph nodes that are here on the side of the breast region. We could do one more if it feels right, or lowering that arm. If the legs are still stacked, separate the legs. From here, slowly beginning to open the heart up towards the sky, gentle twist. We might hold it with a stretch in that back arm. Lots of sensation here the body might want to work out. Breathing through it. Again, exhaling from the throat. Noticing any sensations in the neck or around the shoulders that could signal tension. If we have any tension, bring that arm onto the waist so the body is still able to rotate and wring itself out without any excessive strain. Closing the eyes while we hold the pose here a little longer. Get as comfortable as possible. When the body is moving a lot, when the body is investing a lot of effort into yoga poses, it's not always able to use the proper energetic reserves to heal on a cellular level. So even though it might look like we're not doing anything, our body is doing a lot when we eliminate too much physical activity. Keep breathing easy. Now from where you are, if you think your body wants to come out of the pose, let's stack the knees. And again, we could roll over onto our backs, revisiting this back bend. It's more like a restorative fish expression. So we're stretching out the stomach. If there's any stagnant food or anything that needs to go down, anything that could interrupt the digestive tract in the night, we want to give that an opportunity and a little bit of assistance by stretching open the gut. We could always again reach the arms overhead. Nice big back bend, protecting the neck, the head, and the throat. One more big inhale. Stay here. If this is what feels right for your body, stay here. Remember, you can always go back later and watch this video again. Let's let the knees sway a little while we're in this back bend. Noticing which side feels more comfortable Twisting into that side, rolling onto our sides again, and curling up. Let's reset the spine. This is where it begins for all of us in the womb. This is where it all begins. This is the most natural and organic position for the nervous system to reset itself. Maybe even closing the eyes here in this sleeping child's pose. Again, bring the breath into the low back, bring it to the middle back. Bring it up between the shoulder blades and behind the heart. Another easy breath here. When you're ready, slowly using the top arm, let's come up about a third or halfway. Easy does it. Let's look at a couple of options for frog pose, Bakasana. So we might want to have one or even two pillows to support the hips. I'm going to give you two different options on this. So for a more restorative and probably more familiar position, we can take our knees out wide, and you can do this like child's pose instead if this is more comfortable. But in all other cases for frog, we're shifting forward. You could even pull part of the pillows underneath the thighs, turning the toes out, the heels in, and then slowly coming down to the floor and completely relaxing the head and the neck. So this is option number one for a symmetrical frog expression. Option number two, one leg at a time. So we open one hip at a time, keeping the energy in the body nice and conservative. We might return to side lying, take the top leg out, so you have the toe out and the heel in, and then you can always, with that pillow really close to the groin and pelvis, start rolling forward. So you have one leg out at a time here, releasing your arm, and then bringing the pillow in. I know, some of us already probably sleep this way. This is a legitimate yoga position, half frog. So take a moment, just find what feels comfortable for your body. Relax the muscles in the legs, in the pelvis, in the hips. We could try using the belly to breathe here, especially if you're just have a really chatty mind. Maybe maybe there's a lot of energy in the belly. Sometimes there are phrases to describe this, like, chew on this, or I can't even stomach the idea of that right now. So maybe push your stomach into the floor and then exhale, relax. And maybe we work on tiring out the energy in the belly that's connected to the mind, our other brain in the belly. Inhale, push the stomach into the floor. And then exhale, relax. We might naturally feel a rise and fall in the spine. You can hold it at the top of the breath. Inhale, stomach into the floor. Option to pause and then let it go.
please stay on this side if you know this is what feels right for you. For those of us who are working with left and right, if you want to experiment with the other leg now, just take your time, slowly switching out the legs. There's no rush here. You could just simply take the other leg out, grabbing your pillow. Maybe starting on the side, so we can draw that pillow in really close, and then slide over onto the belly, having the toe out and the heel in. The extended leg could be relaxed, toe out, heel in on that other leg. Breathing, maybe this time, into the low back again, revisiting that breath that moves along the back sides of the spine, the back sides of the lungs. Notice any tension in the pelvis, especially in the groin region. Softening that part of the body. Relax the jaw. Anytime the body is experiencing prolonged periods of stress, whether on a conscious or subconscious level, we might have tension in the jaw and tension in the pelvis, the pelvic floor. So soften that energy. Notice if there's any clenching in the buttocks. Is there any clenching in the anal sphincter region? Relax those muscles. Maybe receive the breath through the hips. Breathing in through the hips, breathing to the low back, all the way up to the shoulders. Exhaling from the back, from the hips. We're welcome to stay here if we think we want to get out of the pose, no matter where we are. Let's reposition our legs into a safe place. And maybe bring the hands down, pressing up and away from the floor, pushing back just a little bit. Let's clear out our space for a moment. Reset the body in something like child's pose, relaxing the head and the neck. Let's shift forward. Only one pillow for this next pose. One pillow. Makara asana. It's a type of a sea creature or a crocodile. So you could use instead a firm blanket. I'm just sort of poofing up my pillow here, but as an alternative, you could have one blanket, and sometimes a firm blanket feels better in this pose, the type of acupressure that it'll give us. So either a nice firm pillow or a blanket. From here, we're just lying down over the blanket from the tops of the thighs to the belly. And then as we lie down on the floor, relaxing the head and the neck. We're taking the feet out, both toes out, both heels in. So this is meant to mimic, again, a sea creature or a crocodile. Makara asana. If you have an eye pillow, sometimes you can relax the head down and it leaves just enough space to breathe easy. Or turn your head to the left or right. Arms can always come down onto the floor if that feels better. Let's breathe here for about a quiet minute, just noticing the breath.
Let's find the breath in the body, deepening the breath. We're thinking of moving out of this pose. Deepen the breath, bits more of effort to encourage movement. Again, we could always stay right here. This is a position that can be a substitute for Shavasana. It can be a sleeping position. From wherever we are, let's bring the feet in close to each other. Rotate the knees down and in. If we're thinking of moving, we could always let the hips sway a little bit left and right first, unlocking any hidden energy that might get stuck in the hips. You could even lift and drop a little bit. When you're ready, bring the hands back, slowly come up. From all fours, slowly come around. Let's take either our blanket or our pillow, or both. If you have a lot of stuff, the more the merrier on this pose. Let's do restorative bridge. So I like restorative bridge with a pillow or two pillows under the hips and then maybe one pillow underneath the head and the neck. But you could use one and one. To do this pose, we start by sitting on the pillows and the blankets. And as we begin to lie down, we want to feel that the shoulder blades are flat onto the floor. Some of us might notice that it feels better to have the head on the floor in this pose. We may not want to have the head propped in any way. If we're noticing that the throat is open, then we definitely want to put something under the head. This is a posture where we want to, again, close the throat so we're able to kind of quiet or a little bit of a hush of that energy that flows into the mind. Let's bring our pillow in and under the head, maybe even under the tops of the shoulder blades. While we're here, we could always keep the feet out a little bit. You could even walk the feet out and let the knees touch each other, keeping the hips lifted. Just allow your body to make its way into any natural position. Once we find our body's personal expression of bridge pose, let's breathe up into the hips. And then as we exhale, gravity is helping roll the breath out of the body. So there could be a little effort on the inhale. Breathing into the nose or the mouth, the breath is moving up towards the hips. And as we exhale, gravity is assisting the breath, rolling it down and out of the body. Let's hold it here for just another couple easy breaths, no rush. Continuing to breathe easy here in bridge. This is a posture we don't have to stay in for a very long time for it to be effective. So at any time, you're welcome to come out of this pose. And if you want, maybe bend the knees and roll to your side to come out of this pose. Now, keeping in mind, we are on a little bit of a lift. There's a little bit of a perch. So as we roll over, there is going to be a little bit of a drop, just letting the body be aware of that little drop. And then catching ourselves lying on our sides. We have about 5 minutes here in closing this gentle practice. So we might want to just stay lying on our sides. As an alternative, we could also turn over onto our bellies, and again we could put that pillow under the hips or under the stomach region while we lie down.
We could do half frog. One of my favorites is that gentle back bend. So maybe we have just one pillow close to the hips, and then we lie back. Chin is in towards the chest. Stomach and gut is open. Legs can be bent or straight. Get comfortable. Let's just notice the breath. Notice the breath moving into both the left and right nostril, and notice if there are any subtle differences with that. So does it feel maybe that one nostril is a little more open than the other? It's really common for us to just have some structural differences from left to right in the nostrils. So we might notice that the breath just moves easier into one side versus the other. So just noticing, letting go of any judgment of that. As we notice those subtle differences, maybe we just twitch or move the muscles in the nose. So if one side is really open, try to constrict it a little. If one side is really closed, try flaring just that one nostril out. We're centering the breath as much as possible, letting go of any notion of ever balancing the breath, but rather just centering it with the process of awareness, subtle shifts of energy. Let's take the tongue, the tip of the tongue, to your gum line behind your two front teeth. Jigwa Bandha or Jiva Bandha. As we curl the tongue up, touching this point naturally, it disengages the muscles in the jaw, in the cheeks, and in the face. So relax the bottom lip away from the top lip when you do this. After a while, as we continue to hold this acupressure point, we might notice a little bit of saliva pulling in the sides of the cheeks. This is good. We only salivate when the nervous system is relaxed. We only drool when we are very relaxed, when the body, the mind agree. We are safe, we can rest, everything is well. So drooling is extra credit. Continuing to soften the pockets of the cheeks. Tip of the tongue pressing against that acupressure point. Middle of the bottom lip soft and relaxed. What is it to feel safe? Breathe that in. Breathe it in. Breathe in the emotion. Feeling is the language of the universe. That is what works with the law of attraction. Feeling safe. Maybe even affirm it. I feel safe. I am safe. And just let the body bask in that support. Stay here as long as it feels right for you. There's no formal closing in this session, as this is meant to do before sleep. So from wherever you are, please continue just to breathe and rest easy. Notice the breath in the nostrils. Keep the tongue, just the tip of the tongue pressed up behind the two front teeth on the gum line. Let the pockets of the cheeks soften and feel safe. Be at ease. I wish you all a restful night's sleep. Namaste.